and welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. Official observers from International Federation of Liberal Youth Organization were among those monitoring the snap parliamentary elections in Ukraine, which took place on July 21st. In total, more than 1,000 observers from foreign countries as well as 11 representatives of foreign media have been monitoring the poll during the elections. To talk more about their assessment of elections transparency, we're joined in the studio today by Iryna Akhmedova. She's a chairwoman of European Youth of Ukraine NGO. Hello and thank you for joining.
Hello.
So as I already mentioned, we do want to know your evaluation of the election process and its level of transparency.
The polling stations we observed, we think there were no major violations and consider them to be clear and transparent.
How many volunteers or members of liberal youth organization took part in monitoring the parliamentary elections?
All in all, it was the amount of 4. One person is from the Netherlands, Jonge Democraten. Another 3 were from Germany, Junge Liberale. They all represent the International Federation of Liberal Youth. And we were very glad to accept them as international observers.
All right, what was the algorithm of the actions, or what were the observers supposed to be doing? I presume that there was a certain list of actions that they were doing, so what were they?
Previously we did a training with them. On Saturday we gathered in an informal room, and we had a very nice chat, of course with explaining the rights of the international observer. We showed to them how do our passports and ID look, all other documents possible that they know, what they need to check. Also, we explained how the process goes during the election day, and they had plenty of questions. And of course, during the day they were prepared during the election day. Till the end, they were they knew all the rules and even went up to the other observers and told them that they are breaking the rules.
So they did. Was it the first time those 4 international observers actually took part in monitoring the parliamentary elections?
Yes, it was the first time.
Okay, why, in your personal opinion, why is it so important to get youth engaged into the monitoring process of the elections?
First of all, it's a very good example of youth participation in the political and election process. Another point is that this is a very, very good experience for their future, because in future they will be city councillors or maybe member of the European Parliament. So for the Europeans it's very interesting and necessary to know how other countries work, how do they elect the Parliament and the President, and for their future work.
How active is Ukrainian youth when it comes to politics?
Unfortunately, not so active. Basically, till, I don't know, maybe 25 years, it's a normal thing for a Ukrainian youth not to participate, not to read, to check the information so much. Yes, definitely there is some percentage that are very, very interested, but in general, not so. And during this election day, we noticed that the amount of young people voting was very, very low. Maybe that are the polling stations we visited, or I don't know, or the reasons that they are away in vacation or elsewhere.
What's your way
studying.
of explaining this situation, that the number of young people showing up at voting stations was very low, was critically low?
Yes, the first reason, I think they are a little bit tired from the presidential elections. The second reason, what I heard also, that the decision, they say that the decision has been taken already, and their vote doesn't matter.
What needs to be done to change such a perception of, especially of young people, when it comes to voting? I've heard that a lot of times myself. I'm not going to vote because my voice doesn't matter. The decision has been already made, which is not true.
Exactly.
How do we perceive young people in the way that they understand that it's their voice that matters?
It's a very hard and complex thing. Many activists are trying to do very easy understanding of the process, or make it fashionable or up to life. Like maybe you have watched the video of now it's popular to vote for different youth. But I think, first of all, we have to show our example. We have to explain, and maybe we have to change the approach how we explain it. So asking for some, I don't know, something that is hard to understand, what is dignity or what is my right to vote, something that millennials cannot touch. And maybe we have to change the approach.
Okay, well, maybe we'll still need to work on that. These presidential elections and parliamentary elections as well included a lot of new faces or so-called no names, right?
Yeah.
People and candidates who do not have any experience in politics for now. Do you, as an observer, consider this to be a good thing or a rather risky affair for Ukrainian politics?
It depends on the situation, I would say. When we speak about the majoritarian system as it is, we know that it's not won't live anymore, and this system is not good here in Ukraine. From the other side, it was a good possibility for no names or new faces and real, true, natural people to try their might and to show them up. Me personally, I helped to one of our members in the organization who decided to run for the elections, and it was we had no money, we had a lot of volunteers, and we tried to reach people in the district. Unfortunately, we didn't reach what we desired, so it was a good possibility for us to try before the local elections, and people will remember, and we will go on working in that district, and this will be helpful just in a year in the local elections.
You wrote an article that is called Ukrainian Elections 2019, the Era of New Faces.
Yeah.
What's your stance on the youth policy in party programs, in election campaigns?
It was really hard to find many information in the programs of parties. And some parties had points in the programs. One party has written a huge book on it and a whole charter. So they tried to. I think the aim of that was to try to reach youth as voters. Maybe not to do some things, some steps in youth policy. though it's very important. Everybody understands that these voters in 5 years, they will decide the future of our country. And this is really, really important, whether they are satisfied with their life, whether they are staying in Ukraine and are going to work here. And if they have possibilities to realize themselves. And these mortgages or lower taxes for entrepreneurs hiring youth would be a nice step to do to engage youth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your point of view. Thank you so much for coming and sharing it.
Thank you.
That was Iryna Akhmedova. She's the chairwoman of European Youth of Ukraine NGO. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned with UATV for more.